following the income statement, right under the net income, the company will report EPS, earnings per share. And you will also see two different earnings per share. One is basic earnings per share, the other is diluted earnings per share. Their difference is just the difference in the denominators. Yeah, so here let me first introduce the definition of basic earnings per share. The numerator is the earnings attributable to the common stockholders. So net income represents the earnings for all the stockholders, while preferred dividends represents the earnings paid to the preferred stockholders. So the difference will be the earnings available to common equity holders. While the denominator is the weighted average number of common stock outstanding. The reason we use weighted average because the number of shares may change during this year. Okay, for example, the company's net income 600,000, preferred dividend 75,000. Yeah, preferred stock nowadays is uncommon. Okay, so the earnings available for common equity holders is 525,000. So the weighted average number of common stock outstanding, just use the beginning balance, number of shares, add the additional shares, multiply the time. So this represents the shares were issued in September. So if the new shares were issued by the end of year, it was 12 over 12. In the beginning of the year will be 0 over 12. That means we won't count these new shares if they are issued in the beginning. So the weighted average number of shares this year is 1,750,000. So the basic earnings per share is 30 cents per share. Diluted earnings per share integrate the impact of potential common shares. These potential common shares, they represent, for example, convertible debt, convertible preferred stock. So these securities provide options for the investors or lenders to convert their securities into common stock. Okay, for example, the convertible bond offer the creditors an option to convert the debt into common stock during a specific time based on a conversion rate. So these creditors actually are potential common equity holders, and this will increase the denominator, the number of shares outstanding. So if we integrate this impact, it won't have impact on the numerator. It only has potential increase in the denominator. So diluted earnings per share usually is less than the basic earnings per share. Here is an example. The basic earnings per share, net income $5.39, while diluted earnings per share for net income is $5.36. The 3 cents difference decrease. The reason is diluted effects. We can also see the weighted average number of shares outstanding increase.